Good morning, traders. Chris Buss here with your morning look at markets for Friday, July 2nd. It is 8:50 as I'm starting the video. We just had the jobs print for June, 850K, up about 100K from consensus. We also had an upward revision of 15K for May. So the market has reacted well to this. ES and small caps are both up about 0.3% as I'm starting the video, and the NASDAQ futures are up about 0.5%. I'm going to do a quick run through of our indexes and FATMAAN names, and then hurry up and get this out to you. So on SPY, we've been watching this gently rising 2-hour channel. If the morning holds or gains are built upon, then we're going to break out of the top side of this channel. And then what you can do is then use the top of the channel as a more or less a trailing stop as we go higher. This top of the channel will rise in time, and then we may come back to the channel and bounce higher, or we may drop inside the channel going forward. But, that's a bridge we'll cross when we get to it. But that'll be positive breaking out here. And then, like I said, just use that as more or less a trailing type stop on the 2-hour. The SPY 30-minute channel is a little bit different. We're going to recapture this midline here this morning. And then what you want to see is a continued path higher with the midpoint of the channel acting as support. You can see here it was a lot of support down in here. And then most recently, this midpoint line has acted as resistance. We're going to pop that this morning. We'll have a little gap that we have to deal with, as we always do on a move higher or lower in the pre-market. So be aware of that. Qs. As we mentioned yesterday, we had been treading water, and we said, don't panic if we drop out of this channel yesterday. Why? Because we were anticipating that whatever happened this morning with the jobs was going to, make this little hesitation more than likely be a moot point. So with the 0.5% up move, if that holds, we will recapture this lower part of the channel, and then we would have a path up to this midpoint of the channel if all systems are go and we get follow through over the next 2 weeks. And just a gentle reminder, the next 2 weeks are the most positive on the calendar, going back to 1950 on average. And then remember, we don't trade averages, we trade prices. So we've got seasonal tailwinds, but we have to trade the market that we get, not an average back to 1950. But that should bode well. We're also heading into third quarter earnings, the next earnings cycle, and that is bullish in itself as well. So a nice move here. Pre-market will recapture that, and then we should be in good shape. Today on the 30-minute channel, we'll have to see if we can recapture the midpoint of this channel, and then that would be a positive for a move. And notice momentum reset at the 0 line with a bull cross. That's always a positive sign for the momentum indicator. You often see that. Here was an example of that move. Here was an example at a little higher level. And if you go back in your charts and look for bull crosses at the 0 line, those usually result in up moves on the next cycle. And that's the exact flip-flop of what we see in a bearish chart when momentum dips below, comes up, and then makes a bear cross right at the 0 line. That's usually a very bearish move on a chart. So this is the flip side. Notice here, momentum and RSI basically living in the bullish regimes, so that bodes well. IWM 2-hour, steep advance, little corrective activity, recapturing this 231 level. In the pre-market, I saw that we were around 232. Again, momentum reset, bull cross at the 0 line. That's bullish. Bullish regime on RSI. That looks good. I think you can stay long above 231 and then look for a run. Maybe not today, but in the week or so ahead, look for a push to the all-time highs around 234. And if you'll recall, on a daily chart, we've got a big consolidation range below 234. And if we get that breakout, you position and daily time frame traders, even if you haven't participated or done any active trading in IWM the whole time, you're going to want to get long IWM on a breakout to all-time highs above 234. All-time highs you got to buy. No natural sellers above, so that looks really nice. Here's the exploded view on the 30-minute chart. You can see here making a push towards 232 on price. I think we break out of there today and make a run towards this 233 here, the prior high, and then 234, the all-time high before. I sent out a little note pre-market. We had nailed this setup on Facebook on the short-term time frame 60-minute chart. We said yesterday you got a beautiful downtrend line and this little pennant formation on a impulsive bull move, 50% halfback correction. We said buy that breakout above, how aggressive you wanted to take it. That's purely up to you. But we said definitely above 350, you could hit that. You got a really nice move up to 354. And if you held it, I think we're above 356 right now. So what you could do is use 356 as your new stop and just ratchet that up. And then depending on what your view is or how the day rolls out, you can either close out your trade at the end of the day, hoping we get a push higher into the close. At that point, you can decide, hey, do I want to be long in the next week with the holiday weekend? Or you just kind of want to go flat and pick it up Tuesday. But at any rate, if you are up towards any number, 258, 360, whatever the case may be, if you wanted to hold into next week, what I would definitely do is roll up your strikes to at least even money. Make sure you got paid for this move, and then you can hold your position into next week knowing that you had all this in the bank. So that's the philosophy that I like to follow, and I think you'll be really happy with that. If you do that, you'll be able to enjoy your weekend a lot better knowing you had a good Thursday and Friday. Most of the money is in the bank. Your risk is minimized. And then go into next week very hopeful because you've got a high-level bull cross right here. And you've got RSI driving higher. So that looks really good. Another one that looks good is Apple. This is the daily chart. We've been focused on a breakout above 138. That would open the door to 144. For a test of the prior high. I did look pre-market, and we were trading slightly above that 138 level, so that would be the green light on the daily. If it can hold it, into the weekend, that the door would be open for a run to those highs. strong momentum profile, strong RSI profile. No signs of rolling up, flattening or rolling over here like we saw back here and here. So now we're still on that upward trajectory heading into a strong couple weeks on the calendar. With any luck, we get that push up to 144, and then we'd be at the all-time highs. Tesla, just, oscillating here, building a consolidation base below 690. You got to see 690 taken out to open up the next leg of that move that should take us to 710 and 725 to test this gap above. So if you're on the daily time frame, I would stay long. And if you're on a short-term time frame, if you get the breakout today, great. I wouldn't personally try to front run that. If you're still below heading into the weekend, I would just let it go into next week, and then pick up the ball on Tuesday. We could stay under here for a little while, and I'd rather try to catch it with an alarm there at 690 next week, and then try and get a big impulsive move higher. Microsoft continues to look great. 60-minute chart. I think we were up about $2 pre-market, up towards 273. Keep your eye focused on the midpoint of the channel. You get that recaptured. That would bode really well for a move up into the low 280s. And after this nice consolidation, if you're long, you're in great shape, especially on the daily chart. Hopefully you've participated in at least some of this on the way up. And notice, poised for a bull cross here on momentum, and RSI staying strong. Amazon, I looked pre-market and it was up here testing this 3445, 3450 area. A breakout there would bode well for a push up towards 3485, 3490 area. And of course, we've been looking on the daily chart where we want to see a breakout above 3550 to open up a whole new range above, up to 4,000 and higher on a measured move basis. But yesterday came back down to the gap, respected the top of the gap, got a bounce, and now we're bouncing. Remember, there'll be a gap on all these FANG names that are going to open higher. Be cognizant of that if these jokers try to go back and fill those gaps right off the open or at any point during the day. So Amazon hopefully can make a series of higher lows and higher highs. Here's a low, here's a higher high, or excuse me, here's a low, here's a lower low. Sorry guys, a low, a higher low. Here's a high. If we can finish higher, we'll have a higher high to go with a higher low, and then hopefully we would get a reformation of this upward trend after this correction. Sorry about that. Netflix. This has not been refreshed. Let me refresh it. Yeah. We talked about yesterday coming back to this gap and the potential for taking along there. If you caught that, that was a great move. You got, a very impulsive candle. They bled it off, but held this 532. So this morning, price was up a little bit, not significantly. But if we hold 532, the door is open to 542.50 here. And so the upward trend remains intact. And that's especially nice because we back tested the gap twice, once here and once here, held both times. So we drive higher. If you're in this trade and you've been able to tolerate the volatility during the day, you can ratchet up your stops towards 532 heading into the weekend, and then of course you can decide what time frame you're on, whether to hold that, or if you get a push today, take some profits and revisit it next week. Google, pre-market, I show this having broken out. So you can be long against 24.50. And remember, we've got a $50 measured move up to 2,500 is our target after this $50 consolidation. So there's going to be a little gap. If you got a back test to 24.50, I would buy that and then look for a move up to 2,500 over the next week and a half. Semis down a little bit yesterday, down a 1.5%, but all we did was back test the breakout, which is fine. I would expect those names to be higher today. I saw NVIDIA was a little bit higher, AMD was a little bit higher. So you position and daily time frame traders, we got a measured move target of 295 right here, so you can be long against 258, 256, whatever your level of risk you want to put on it. But I think there's a big opportunity here, at least over the next 2 to 4 weeks, heading into earnings for a lot of these names. I think you could see, 270, something like that, easily. And then you've got your well-defined stop just below if that thesis turns out to be wrong. Let's wrap it up there. Good jobs report, good initial market reaction. Let's see if we can hold it into the close today. Remember, Monday the market's closed. Have a good weekend. Take some time off with the family and friends to recharge your batteries, feed the brain, get ready for a good second half of trading. And I'll do my best to pull a few things together so we're locked and loaded heading into the next 2 weeks with some very objective trade ideas. I've got a list of names here with some charts that are setting up nicely. And then we can hit it hard starting Tuesday morning right into that very positive seasonal 2 weeks and into earnings, and see if we can get the second half off to a great start. So have a good weekend, and I will talk to you next time. This has been Chris Buss with Traders Profit Compass. Have a good day of trading.